They're thinking about like their business, about their bottom line, and they don't want to carry like ultra risky content and shit. And that's just the facts. Yeah. But
I mean, that's a tough truth. I don't know. I just don't understand this kind of autistic, like, this is the truth and I'm going to say no matter what. And because I believe it, it's like, you know what? Everything you say comes with a certain level of responsibility, especially when somebody's paying your bills. It's like, you got to understand how you're talking about these topics because it affects their bottom line. So you got to be smart. I'm not saying you can't say what you want to say, but if you're not even going to take the time to think it through, I mean, the business is going to act in its own interest. I don't think it's right, but it's just like, how do you think this kind of stuff should unfold in your opinion?
For me, like, how should people like sneako be dealt with?
No, what can we reasonably expect from platforms? I'm not asking
idealistic. I think platforms need to fucking nut up. Okay, the idea, like, I just think platforms are pussies these days. I understand the expectation is going to act like pussies, but like when fucking Google is like pulling shit from people off of YouTube, like, bro, nobody's going to stop using fucking YouTube because sneako's on YouTube. Like, don't be fucking crazy, you know? Like I feel like platforms, for some reason, they give in so easily, and like I really don't. I know people say, oh, public pressure, blah blah. I don't think the public pressures are that much. I think the platforms are just super babies about it. But I mean, like, that's how they're going to act. I understand. Yeah.
You remember Adpocalypse happened?
Yep.
Somebody started reporting the fact that there's a bunch of weird stuff on YouTube, and all of a sudden advertisers start pulling their dollars.
Yeah.
Do you remember that, right?
I think that was in response. Was that the Jake Paul shit, or was that before that?
I think it might have been something else. I can't remember what the thing is. Now, imagine how easy it is for anybody to say, this is what male creators are doing on YouTube. They run his clip. How many advertisers do you think are going to pull?
No, I mean, I understand. Like, it could get bad. It's always random. You never know. But like, yeah, it could get really bad, of course.
Right. Because that's stuff that's kind of hard to defend, or how hard to, you know?
Yeah, no, I agree. But the only thing that sucks is that, like, at some point you would hope, and I know it's naive maybe, but like you'd hope that like companies would take like some sort of like principled stance on things. And it's like, well, you know, maybe it's important that we have like edgy content, or maybe it's important that we not, like, you know, like, I think that.
Whoa.
What?
Just like 30 minutes ago, you and Dan were fighting me tooth and nail on like some kind of pro-capitalist thing where companies will fuck over anybody to make their bottom line and make all their investment back. You don't think YouTube operates in that capacity at all?
Yeah,
you're talking about principles of a company, and like just earlier, just talking about like it's a capitalistic investment when it comes to artists and how they treat them.
Yep. So the difference is that like different people or different entities can bear different things. And I tend to judge people on what they can bear. So like when I say that like I don't really approve of gambling that much, I don't think I take a gambling sponsor, and I end up doing it and people judge me for it, it's like, that's fair, you can judge me. I make a lot of fucking money. I don't need to take a gambling sponsorship to survive, right? But if there's like a 200 viewer streamer and they're like, oh, I don't know how I feel about gambling, and then a big sponsorship comes by and, you know, 200 viewers, damn, that's a lot more to that person. I can understand their situation being a bit more compromised. I don't know if the entire music industry could exist offering every individual talent preferable contracts. I'm not sure about that. I don't know. But I do know that Google could have more of a backbone and resist some sort of advertiser pressure for at least a little bit, to show that like, hey, listen, like, we can have a diversity of content. People aren't going to fucking mass leave the platform. Like, it's bullshit that you guys are having this reaction. I think most of you come crawling back. Like, I think Google could bear it a bit more, but that's just how I view it.
I mean, it certainly could if Google was like a person with individual principles, but I think as a company, it's just really thinking about profits for the most part. I think its principles or whatever it professes, I think we both know that shit's secondary if non-existent. So
of course, but I mean, the
way YouTube acts is exactly how I would expect the capitalistic company that you guys described earlier to act. Which
but the hope, I'm going to
prioritize profit.
Yeah, the hope would be that in like it, for the long-term health of the market, like, we're not, if we keep running down this path, it's probably not going to be where we want to be. It's probably not a good thing, right?
Oh, I agree.
Because like, look at like today, like all like
now
Ethan got fucking
introducing ethics into how companies run the business.
And Ethan just got like hit for a week from fucking YouTube. He probably feels mind fucked right now. Vosh took 2 strikes on his channel. He's feeling mind fucked right now. Like, it seems like this shit is starting to like bleed over to like fucking everything, which is getting a little bit spooky, I think.
Also, you know, one thing I reject the whole notion that like one person monopolizes the truth. One thing that sneako does that I find absolutely cringe is like, I'm just telling the truth. I'm always the one who's telling the truth.
Bye. Remember to hit that like and subscribe, and don't forget the notification bell so that my videos show up right in your feed.